Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, in the previous video I have explained to you how actually the neurological function within our body actually affects our change, and how the science of epigenetics and neuroimmunology, these new sciences, is showing us that the interplay of the various hormones is affecting our physical, mental, emotional and spiritual self at the highest level. Like from the Islamic perspective, for the atheist perspective, is only at the conscious and the subconscious mind. And to effect that change, there is this process of how we are going to move from our old negative self to the new positive self. How are we going to use all the faculties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us? That means our spiritual potential, emotion, that means spiritual, the roh potential, the qalb potential, the akal potential, and then the jasad potential. Alright, so if we look from this holistic perspective, Islam has the best answer to this, and then I'm going to explain to you the positive Islamic psychology change process, and inshallah then you can understand what I'm saying about now, how the interplay of our conscious, subconscious and supraconscious mind affects our nature of existence on this earth. So if we look at PIP, positive Islamic psychology, positive change process, we have to change. The whole nature of existence is continuous change. So if we have the old self, assuming that we are now say about 35 years old, alright, we have this old self. Alright, or you could be 50 years old, or you could be 25 years old. You still have the old self. Alright, then you have the new self. So from the old self to the new self, there is a change process. Alright, and how this change process affects us is how we're going to go about to change, because the old self is already tick into the process of the old. For example, the old self, the negative old self. The negative old self, alright, has bad habits. We have bad habits. That means we are so used to, for example, having the bad habits. For example, like, alright, in Malaysia you have this breakfast of nasi lemak and teh tarik and roti canai, very high calorie intake and so on. And we are laden with sugar, with carbohydrate, with additives and so on. So we have bad habits in terms of food. We have bad habits in terms of our lifestyle. What do we do? Our bad habits. We wake up in the morning, first thing we see all the negative news. Oh, this place got bombed, this place got tsunami, oh, this person died of murder. So every day we are feeding ourselves with negative input. So our life is directed by our negative bad habits. So the first thing you wake up in the morning, open your Facebook, and then your friend says something bad about you, you attack your friend or whatever, and all that nonsense goes on. Alright, you're wasting your life, wasting your time, but that is a habit. And you also wake up in the morning, also you wake up just like as usual. You wake up in the morning, you go to the same side of your bed, alright, then maybe you have the same breakfast, maybe you have the same routine, rush to work, go into a traffic jam, curse and swear at your other drivers and so on. So you have these bad habits. So these negative self and bad habits will then result in the psychological challenges of humanity in the 21st century. So we have anxiety, we have depression, we have OCD, we have ADHD, you name it, the whole range of psychological problems from the day the child is born until the day we die. We have all these psychological challenges. So when we are facing all these psychological challenges, what happened to our physical body? Our physical body is chronic diseases. So we die of cancer, we die of heart attack, we die of stroke, we die of diabetics, we die of so many things that causes our death. Alright? So then, when all these are taking place, what happened to our life? Then we have a failure in life. That means we fail in our relationship, we fail in our marriage, for example. We go into divorces and so on. We fail in terms of our career. We just become a nobody in a career. We can be somebody, but we end up being a nobody in the career because of all the other challenges that we face. And then in life, we get frustrated. We get frustrated with life, we get anguish in life, we get worry in life, and a lot of them, when they cannot take it, either they go mad or they just jump from the highest building, they commit suicide. And that is happening in large numbers all over not all over the developed world, the so-called world that is so advanced. All right. So how are we going to get out of this old self, go through the change process to the new self? So we have to move. So in positive Islamic psychology, we have two flows. The two flows are simultaneously at two flows. So we have these two flows. This is flow A. All right. This is flow B. Okay. So we have two flows. All right. We can see that these two flows consist of two streams of thoughts. The first flow is just from atheists, those who don't believe in God, those who don't believe in a higher power. Their flow is basically, all right, they have this physical body, all right, they have this mental body, all right, they have this emotional body, but they don't have this. So the first flow here, they don't have the spirituality here. So they only have the PEM, the physical body, the mental body, and the emotional body. Okay, because they don't believe in God. The spiritual body needs a belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or divine creator, or you can call him the supreme creator, the most intelligent creator, all the sifat of Allah, you can. Alright, so this flow is where the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body is toxic with all these things. So you have this flow that is now relating to all these things, all these. Okay, so how can you overcome your challenge in life? Because when your physical body is toxic, your mental body is toxic, your thoughts are negative, your emotional body is toxic, that means you have all the negative qualities, you want to change it to positive qualities, it will be very difficult. Alright, for the non-believers it's very difficult because you have no hope in the future, you have no hope in a protector, a creator, a helper, and so on. Because for Muslims it's a different altogether. You are using only your physical body to change your physical body. Alright, you are using your physical, that's material being, your material self. Your material self, this is your material self, that means your physical body, your mind, or your brain, and your emotion, which is, they package it as one, without the higher power, without God. Alright, so this material body, you want to use this material body to change your material body, your physical self, it's very difficult. Alright, this material body has no power. It is just particle. It is a particle cannot change another particle. This is from quantum physics. So you cannot change your physical self using this. It's, even if you can do it, is like a force feed, like putting a intravenous tube and so on, or last minute. For example, somebody is almost dying of, for example, of diabetes, then he changed his habit radically. It's like a last minute kind of thing. But it is not a joyful stream of beauty, of change, of happiness in the change process. So that's why we find a lot of people, they cannot change. The bad habits remain the bad habits until they die. Alright, so they will have all the problems of life that we see today because they rely on the material world to change their physical being. The material world cannot change you. Only who can change you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The spiritual power, energy from the akal al-kulli, alright, that is coming to us to change our physical, mental and spiritual body. But from the Islamic perspective, we start with the flow, start with our spiritual relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we have the positive emotion to generate our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we can change our mental from the negative mental state to positive mental state using muhasabah, tafakkur, tazakkur and tafakkur. We do that, and then we change our physical state. So we now are relying on the energy, the nur from Allah and the protection from Allah. Allah tells us in the Quran, Allahu waliyul ladina amanu. Allah is the protector of those who believe. Yukhrijuhum minaz zulumati lan nur. He brings you from darkness, from all this darkness of the old self to nur of the new self. So you have a protector, you have a helper, you have the nur which Allah shower to us through the qalb, akal al-kulli and our ruh. So that is a power. And Muslims somehow do not understand that we are the most powerful people on earth, because we have Allah as our backer, our protector. Allahu waliyul ladina amanu. So He's going to protect us. He's going to guide us. He's going to solve all our bad habits. So when we rely on Allah, we would then have the process of the feelings, emotion or thoughts, the positive feelings from the realm of the akal al-kulli, alright, there's positive spiritual feelings, positive emotional feelings, positive mental feelings, then affects our physical jasad. And our jasad then will then change, become a positive self. We have good habits, from bad habits we switch to good habits, and this is a change process. So it is not today you have a bad habit, tomorrow you have a good habit. It is a process of continuous process of life. That is life. That's why in Islam we have ibadah. You don't just pray today, tomorrow you don't pray. You can't. It is a whole process of ibadah, ubudiyah to Allah throughout your whole life. So then you progress upward. Alright, you have a spiritual acceleration, you have your emotional acceleration, you have your mental acceleration, you have your physical well-being and wellness. Alright, so then at that point Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower you with peace, happiness, joy. All of you want, right? We all want peace, happiness. So we have this whole concept. We teach about love, peace, happiness, care and share under our Khalifah method. And then we have the physical and health well-being, and then we are success. We are successful in our marriage, bringing up our children, our grandchildren. We are successful in our relationship with our relatives, our friends, our society, with the world. We are our relationship with the birds, the bees, the ecosystem, all in balance. Then we have a good career, we have a good life, and inshallah all that brings us up to a positive change, which is a process which I will explain in detail how to go about with it inshallah in the subsequent video. So remember, we have this wonderful approach of to change from the negative self, the old self, to the new self, regardless whatever is your age. If you remember how to go about with it, and I will give you some more tips on this, we would then be able to have a wonderful life, a happy life, a healthy life, blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, always striving, knowing that we are His sincere servant, always connecting to Him, and we are His Khalifah on this earth, always striving to make ourselves good, helping others to be good, and making the world good, inshallah.